I've helped women between the ages of 30 and 50 finally release belly fat that they've been carrying for years by understanding these 15 truths. Follow all 15 of these and you'll finally understand why the fat's been stuck and exactly how to get it off. So here's truth number 1. Your social media feed is literally making you fat. If you're scrolling past pizza reviews and mukbangs and food porn all day, those aren't just random cravings popping into your head later. That's what you visually consumed, and it's just showing up as thoughts. So what you allow yourself to see is a huge part of your diet. So unfollow all that triggering content right now and start following people eating whole foods and fruits and salads and content that actually supports your goals. One of my clients thought she just had no willpower around pizza, and then we cleaned up her social media feed, and within a week, the cravings were gone. It's that simple. Number 2, here's what nobody tells you. Fat came from an inside job, okay? So working out helps, but no external approach can entirely eliminate it because belly fat is undigested waste in your system from years, if not decades, of hard to break down, heavy, dehydrating foods that your body couldn't process. It got clogged in your colon and now it's just showing up as fat on your stomach. I remember I used to do 200 crunches a day thinking that would flatten my belly, but I'd still be carrying the love handles that I was trying to get rid of. And that's because the waste was trapped inside. So no amount of crunches were gonna clear that out. Truth number 3, every store-bought sauce and salad dressing and dip is loaded with highly processed, unnatural gums and syrups and additives and refined sugars and salts and inflammatory oils that your body isn't designed to recognize, let alone break down. And when your body can't process something, it stores it as fat. So you want to make your own sauces and dressings and dips at home. And it's way easier than you think. And it's the only way to keep your food clean while actually tasting amazing. If you want my complete list of easy to make 4 to 6 ingredient sauces, dressings, and dips that make salads and veggies taste so good that you'll actually crave them, so the waste inside you flushes out and that belly fat comes off, you can grab my free light body activation guide down below. And truth number 4, if your breakfast is not fresh, juicy fruit, you're keeping yesterday's waste stuck inside you, okay? Because fruit has natural water in it called H3O2. And this H3O2 hydrates you on a cellular level and breaks up that stagnant waste in your fat cells. And it also has living activated digestive enzymes, not the dead processed enzyme pills at the store, that break down undigested waste in your gut, showing up as the belly fat. And this fruit cleanses out yesterday's meals and helps your body eliminate them properly instead of just stacking more waste on last night's dinner. When my client Christine switched from having eggs and protein shakes in the morning to just a big meal of juicy fruit, she dropped 8 pounds in 2 weeks without changing anything else. And the waste finally started moving and eliminating out of her. Truth number 5, as humans, we are 60 to 70% water-based, electric, and we're living beings, right? And so most people are eating dry, dehydrating, non-electric, dead foods. Things like pasta and breads and chips and cookies. Things that are pulling the water out of your body and causing you to be cellularly dehydrated. And this is why you feel the need to drink water after anything dry or cooked, because there's no water content in that food. And if you think about it, our ancestors were not carrying around gallons of water to rehydrate after their food because their food wasn't dehydrating them, right? So everything in nature, and we're natural beings, contains everything that we can eat contains water content, even sweet potatoes. So to cleanse years of this dehydrated, clogged, undigested waste showing up as belly fat, you need to gradually make the majority of your diet a reflection of who you are, which again is 60 to 70% water-based, electric, and living. And what foods are that? Fruits, vegetables, roots, and greens. Again, link below to grab my fat-burning sauces that make all of these foods that I just listed taste absolutely amazing. And truth number 6. Listen, you can be eating all of the healthy foods, right? The smoothies, the quinoa, the sweet potatoes, but if you're eating too many calories, those excess calories still show up as belly fat. It doesn't matter how clean you're eating. And here's how to know if you're overeating. If you still have room to eat 2 to 3 bananas after your last meal, but you don't need them, stop eating. Drink some caffeine-free tea and just chill or go for a walk. And start practicing eating until you're about 75 to 80% satisfied when you're done eating for the day and not all stuffed and completely numbed out. And this is gonna feel uncomfortable at first because you're gonna have all this excess energy from your food instead of being taken down by your food. And it's gonna feel weird because you may be used to just laying down and scrolling and watching TV after your last meal. But when you do this, you're not gonna wanna do that. So use this excess energy from your calories, go for a walk, do something productive. And remember, food isn't just for taste and definitely not for numbing out, right? So food is for providing you energy to do things. And again, if you're still hungry enough to just eat 2 to 3 bananas, you don't need to eat, okay? You just want more stimulation. So give yourself some healthier sources of stimulation besides just eating and scrolling. Like, again, walking or stretching or working out or reading, journaling, meditating, or watching something productive and inspiring like this. All right, truth number 7. If more than 10 to 15% of your daily calories are coming from fat, you won't lose fat. Okay, and here's why. Because fat has 9 calories per gram, okay? And then carbs and protein only have 4 calories per gram. So fat contains more than double the calories by weight than carbs and protein. And your fats are your oils and excess proteins, because excess protein turns into fat. Avocados, nuts, seeds, coconut cream, coconut meat, coconut milk. And remember that any excess calories turn into fat too. So keep your fat intake to under 15% of your daily calories. Truth number 8, oils are keeping you fat. If you have to use oil, which you don't, but if you're going to use oil, use just a tiny bit of extra virgin olive oil or some avocado oil or coconut oil at very low heat, or preferably no heat at all, because heat creates toxins and makes the oil harder than it already is for your body to break down. So get in the habit of steaming your vegetables and your roots instead of roasting or frying them. And check your prepackaged meals and snacks for canola, sunflower, safflower, soybean, and palm oil. These are super fatty and highly inflammatory, and they prevent fat loss. And if you're gonna eat nuts or seeds, make sure they're raw nuts and seeds and not roasted or salted, because this means they've been cooked in those oils, and that's not only extra calories, but extra fat than the nuts or seeds already contain in them. And if you are gonna have nuts or seeds, keep these to just a handful or 2 a day, because they're hard for your body to break down and they're very addicting. I had a client doing everything right, but she just couldn't lose her belly fat. And I had her send me a picture of everything she was eating and what was going into the food she cooked. And I saw she was using 3 tablespoons of oil every time she roasted her sweet potatoes. And that's 360 calories of pure fat per meal. So we switched to just steaming her sweet potatoes, and she dropped 7 pounds that month. Truth number 9, if you're not averaging at least 5,000 to 10,000 steps a day, the fat is not coming off, okay? We need to move this stagnancy within us. And 5,000 steps only takes 30 minutes at a slow pace. And 30 minutes out of the 7 hours you're gonna be sitting today, right? Just think about that. And then you can work your way up to 10,000 steps, but just start with 5,000. And if it's cold, grab a walking pad on Amazon or Facebook Marketplace and get creative with your steps, right? If Aunt Linda calls and you know it's gonna be a 30-minute conversation, walk around the house or walk in the neighborhood. If you're going to the store, park a parking lot or two over from the grocery store, or just walk to the store from your house. I always like to earn my food, right? Like if I'm gonna eat, let me just get a quick walk in or hit a couple push-ups real quick. Number 10, if you don't have a reason to show up feeling good, you won't eat good. It's that simple. If you have a class or a group or a passion, a hobby, or a project or a business you want to show up energized and clear-minded for, you'll naturally want to choose healthier, lighter food so that you can perform well in that. Without something or someone naturally holding you accountable, you have no real reason not to overeat the bag of chips. You have no reason not to go get some fast food. So you're just way less likely at night or in the day to eat some crappy food if you have a class that challenges you and requires you to perform well the next morning. And for me, that was massage school. This naturally made me want to eat good so that I can show up feeling good and healthy and energized. Truth number 11, if you wake up with no plan and just wing it for the day, you're gonna be pulled by smells, by what he or she's eating, by whatever direction the wind blows. So get yourself a journal, and in your journal, every single night, starting tonight, plan tomorrow tonight. Plan tomorrow tonight. So plan what you're gonna make and what you need to buy tomorrow morning before you go to bed tonight. And this is setting an intention for your day tomorrow instead of just winging it. And checking off those check boxes tomorrow feels so rewarding. So your checklist tonight may look something like buy sweet potatoes and quinoa and ingredients to make the homemade sauce from Practitioner Key's guide. And then the next checkbox, get my 5,000 steps in. And then another one, stretch for 10 minutes before checking my phone. Just 2 or 3 things with little check boxes next to them. And when you wake up, you grab your checklist knowing exactly what you need to do today. And doing this also rewires your brain to show up for yourself instead of waiting for commands from other people like we've been trained to do our whole lives in society by our managers and bosses and our teachers and our parents. Truth number 12, under your checklist every night, write one thing that you're proud of and one thing you learned. So one thing you're proud of, this forces you to focus on daily wins, even if they're small. Society is hyper focused on what we didn't get done or what we screwed up on. But even on bad days, this forces you to acknowledge just one win, okay? So one thing you're proud of, maybe it's just eating a breakfast of juicy fruit or getting in those steps. That is huge. And it proves to yourself you're moving forward and you're making progress. And then one thing you're proud of underneath that, one thing you learned. So maybe it's something like, I learned today that I need to stock up on more bananas and frozen fruit for my smoothies. And one thing you learn, this confirms you're expanding and growing into the version of you who has the knowledge to lose fat. And speaking of the bananas, I go and grab huge boxes of bananas. You get them cheaper. And if they're ripening too quickly, you can throw them in the freezer for smoothies. Bananas are a huge staple, in my opinion, when it comes to wanting to eat healthier and lose fat. I eat about 4 to 8 bananas a day. I'll throw maybe 6, 7, 8 bananas in a smoothie with some frozen blueberries. Super good. Just make sure your bananas are spotted like a cheetah before you eat them. That's when they've converted from hard to digest green starchiness to easy to digest sugar, natural sugar. So recap of what you should be journaling every single night. Number 1, 3 or 4 checkbox checklist, just a checklist including 1 to 2 things that, that are going to move you forward in your goal, even if they're small. And then maybe like a meal you're gonna make tomorrow and the ingredients you gotta get for it. And then underneath your checklist, write 1 thing you're proud of from the day. You're doing this at night. 1 thing you're proud of, and then 1 thing you learned. Truth number 13. What you consume visually is part of your diet. Same with what you consume auditorily, right? So listen to audiobooks. Listen to these on walks, when you wake up, while you're stretching, or you're eating your breakfast, or you're driving in the car, or even before bed. Listen to the people who have the results that you want. And these audiobooks expand your perspective beyond what you're already thinking every day. Because if the thoughts that you've been thinking every day were healthy, you wouldn't be carrying around extra fat. So these audiobooks keep your mind expanding and teaches you how to essentially have more control over your cravings and your day-to-day actions. I'll leave a link below to grab the audiobooks that I give all my clients that keep your mind focused on the right actions so fat loss becomes easier. Number 14, write out all of your bad habits, okay? Write out all your bad habits. Don't judge yourself. Just get clear on paper. What's not serving the woman you want to become? Even if it's not brushing your teeth at night or keeping your house clean. And after you've written out all your bad habits, write a good habit next to each bad habit that you can replace that bad habit with. Because a bad habit can't be eliminated unless you replace it with another stimulus, or you'll just go back to the bad habit. And once you're done with this exercise, bad habits, good habits, stick this on your fridge or somewhere that you'll see every day and implement just 1 habit swap each week. So you're giving yourself 7 days to dial in each one until all of your bad habits are swapped to good ones. And truth number 15, last but not least, this is actually the most important one of them all. The number 1 reason people haven't achieved their dream life or their dream body is because they're not clear on what that life even looks like. So get super clear on what a day in life would look like for you as a person down 25, 50, 75, or 100 pounds, whatever your goal is. So open up a Google Doc or write on a piece of paper every hour of the day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. What time would she wake up? What would she do in the morning? What kind of hobbies would she be doing during the day? What would her midday look like? What would she do before bed? What time would she go to bed? Really get clear on your ideal day in this new body, this new life that you're creating. Because if you have no clear vision of what the destination that you want to achieve even looks like, you don't know how to get closer to that vision, or if you are getting closer to that vision. And this works as a progress record to see how much of the life you're living right now is replicating the life that you'd be living with your dream body. And when you get super clear on what you'd actually be doing hour by hour as the woman with your dream body, put this on your fridge or somewhere that you'll see every day and start living that version of you right now. This is how you fast track your results. So by integrating little bits of that day to your current life gradually until you're doing it all. And this should only take a month, maybe 2 at most. A bonus tip for this as well is when you're integrating this new routine, maybe a new hobby, from that schedule into your current day, into your current schedule, feel like you're already that future version of you. Okay, don't think, but feel what it even feels like to be living in that body, already doing the thing that you'd be doing in that body as that woman. Okay, and come back to that feeling as much as possible throughout the day. What would it feel like to tell your parents or your best friend or your partner or your cousin that you lost 50 pounds? It probably feels something like the expression of, yes, do that right now. Go, yes, yes. And what you want to do is come back to that feeling as much as possible throughout the day. Okay, just literally do that throughout the day, because that's how the future leaned out version of yourself feels. And if you can put yourself in that emotional, vibrational match as her right now, as much as possible, you gradually start to become that version of yourself. Happy, excited, accomplished, all of that. Much love. Happy healing, family. Cheers.